Friends, in today's video, we will discuss 5 free sources of calcium that you can utilize to address calcium deficiencies in your plants. Most of the calcium fertilizer substitutes, or sources as you might call them, that I am about to share in this video are completely free. That is, they are likely already present right in your home. The remaining options are extremely affordable and can be easily procured from the market. Before we delve into what these free sources are, how to use them, and the benefits associated with their application, let us first understand what calcium fertilizer actually is. Why is calcium essential for plants? What are the specific benefits of applying calcium to plants? Furthermore, what are the detrimental effects of a calcium deficiency in plants? And what specific symptoms manifest when such a deficiency occurs? Friends, calcium fertilizer, or calcium-rich manure, is one of the most vital nutrients for plant growth. Just as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, collectively known as NPK, constitute the primary, or most critical nutrients required for a plant's development, calcium ranks as the 4th most important nutrient for plant growth. Regardless of the type of plant, whether it is a fruit-bearing, vegetable-bearing, or flowering plant, providing an adequate supply of calcium to the plant or its soil is absolutely crucial for maximizing the yield of flowers, buds, and fruits. For instance, the application of calcium stimulates rapid and robust root development in plants. The stronger and more vigorous a plant's root system is, the faster the plant grows, and the greater the abundance of fruits and flowers it will subsequently produce. Moreover, the use of calcium not only increases the quantity of fruits and flowers on a plant but also contributes to larger fruit and flower sizes. Additionally, calcium helps mitigate environmental stress in plants, specifically, the physiological strain caused by sudden shifts or fluctuations in environmental conditions. By environmental changes, I am referring to factors such as sudden, extreme, whether it involves combating intense heat, excessive rainfall, drought, or attacks by diseases and pests, all of which are often triggered by environmental changes. Calcium plays a pivotal role in mitigating these adverse effects. This is because calcium significantly aids in strengthening the cell walls of plants, the protective outer layers of their cells. By reinforcing the plant's cellular structure, calcium endows the plant with enhanced disease resistance. In other words, the stronger a plant's cells are, the greater its inherent capacity to withstand attacks from diseases, pests, and insects. These were some of the benefits of using calcium. There are other advantages as well, which I will discuss in greater detail another time. However, let us now turn our attention to the consequences and symptoms that manifest when there is a deficiency of calcium in the plant or in the soil surrounding it. A calcium deficiency can cause severe harm to a plant. For instance, its growth may abruptly halt, or it may begin to grow in an erratic manner, either growing very slowly or ceasing to grow altogether, effectively bringing its development to a complete standstill. Furthermore, a calcium deficiency can lead to the problem of leaf curl in plants. This issue is particularly prevalent in crops such as chili peppers and tomatoes. Moreover, one of the primary causes of blossom end rot, a condition where fruits begin to rot or turn black from the bottom, is a calcium deficiency within the plant. Blossom end rot is a problem frequently observed in tomatoes, gourds, and various other vine-growing vegetables. Additionally, the edges of the leaves may begin to scorch or burn. These are just a few of the many symptoms that can be observed in plants suffering from a calcium deficiency. So, friends, those were the benefits and drawbacks associated with calcium usage in plants. Now, let's discuss some free or extremely affordable sources of calcium that you can utilize to address a calcium deficiency in your plants or to ensure an adequate supply of calcium for them. The very first, and arguably the best source for replenishing a calcium deficiency in plants, which also happens to be a highly economical option, is lime, also known simply as choona, can be found online sold under the name limestone powder, or it may also be available in the form of calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide. However, purchasing lime from a local pawn shop will prove to be significantly cheaper than buying it online. You can utilize lime for your plants in 2 distinct ways. However, it is absolutely essential to exercise extreme caution while doing so. Paying close attention to the quantity used is critical, as an excessive amount could potentially scorch or damage your plants. You can very easily apply it in its powdered form. When using the powder, avoid taking too much. For a single plant, 2 to 3 pinches of lime are sufficient, meaning you should not exceed approximately 1 to 2 grams, or 1 to 1.5 grams, per plant. Furthermore, you should repeat this application once every 15 to 20 days. So, you should apply the lime 1 to 2 inches away from the main stem, specifically, 2 inches away from the roots. You must then thoroughly loosen the soil so that the lime can easily penetrate deep into the ground. Alternatively, you can also use this on your plants in liquid form. Simply take the same amount, about 1 to 2 pinches of lime, roughly this much, and dissolve it in 100 to 200 milliliters of water. Then, instead of using the powder, pour this dissolved lime water around the base of the roots. You can use lime on any vegetable, fruit, or flowering plant grown outdoors. However, you should avoid using it on herbs or leafy vegetables. Next, another excellent source of calcium is chalk, also known as buttermilk. This is a completely free resource. It is likely already available in your home, can be easily prepared, and is ready for use on your plants. You do not need to use a large quantity of buttermilk. Simply dissolve about 100 milliliters of buttermilk thoroughly in 1 liter of water. You can then use this mixture to water your plants. If you are using this buttermilk solution on larger plants, such as vining vegetables, you can apply the full 1 liter mixture per plant. For smaller plants, however, use a smaller dose of this diluted mixture, approximately 100 to 200 milliliters per plant. Yet another excellent source of calcium is eggshells. Friends, eggshells contain an extremely high concentration of calcium. In fact, they are such a rich source of calcium that people nowadays are even grinding them into a powder to consume as a dietary supplement in their daily lives. Furthermore, eggshells are incredibly beneficial for plants as well. However, before using them on your plants, you must grind them into a fine powder. Only then should you apply them because eggshells. If you add eggshells directly to a plant, it can take years for them to decompose. However, if you grind them into a powder before adding them, the plant can absorb the calcium contained within them much more easily. Therefore, grind them thoroughly in a blender. If you let them dry in the sun for a day beforehand, the resulting powder will be even finer. Additionally, drying the shells in the sun helps eliminate any bacteria that may be present on them. A key advantage is that once you have made the powder, you can store it for years and use it on your plants whenever needed. To apply it, you can use 1 teaspoon per plant. Another great feature is that it can be used on both outdoor and indoor plants without causing any harm. Simply sprinkle the powder around the surface of the potting soil and gently loosen the soil, till it, so that the powder penetrates deep down, reaching all the way to the roots. This is an excellent and completely free source of nutrients. The very eggshells you might otherwise consider waste and throw away are actually a fantastic source of calcium. So, put them to use on your plants to effectively address any calcium deficiencies. The best method is to use it in powder form, though you can also dissolve it in water if you prefer. However, please note that it does not dissolve 100% in water, meaning it is not completely soluble. Only a small amount will dissolve, while the rest remains undissolved. To apply it this way, thoroughly mix the powder into 100 to 200 milliliters of water and pour the mixture around the base of the plant's roots. As mentioned, since it does not dissolve completely in water, you will notice that a significant amount of the powder settles at the bottom. Simply add more water to the container and pour it out again to ensure that all the remaining powder reaches the soil. Next, there is another very inexpensive source of calcium: chalk sticks. The kind of chalk used for writing on blackboards or green boards serves as an excellent source of calcium. These items contain an abundant amount of calcium, as they are fundamentally derived from lime. That is, they are created using materials such as quicklime or chalk. To utilize this, simply take a piece of chalk, or if the plant is small, half a piece, and bury it directly into the soil. When you water the plant, the chalk will gradually dissolve and thoroughly integrate into the soil. Another source rich in calcium is calcium tablets. You can purchase calcium tablets from the market. They are quite inexpensive, or you can use any tablets you already have at home. You can even utilize expired calcium tablets, those past their expiration date. Rather than throwing them away, you can put them to good use for your plants. To apply them, thoroughly grind or crush the tablets into a fine powder. However, be careful not to use too much. A mere pinch of this powder per plant is sufficient. Furthermore, ensure you apply it about 2 to 3 inches away from the plant's roots. Do not use it as a spray. Simply apply it directly to the soil. So, friends, these were 5 completely free or very affordable sources of calcium that you can use to address calcium deficiencies in your plants. Now let's look at the benefits of using calcium. I have provided you with detailed information regarding the potential downsides, as well as the various free resources available. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Finally, thank you for watching.